Right, it's recording, so all you need to do is point it. Is it in focus?
Don't know.
Am I in focus?
Yeah.
Right. Rise 7 is not a startup anymore. They're not the new kids on the block. We're an established agency. And we're in Manchester today. We're launching our new office. We've got 18 people. I'm going to talk to all the people in the office and see what it's really like to go from startup to scale up.
Average.
We've actually here because we have finally got a Manchester space of our own. So we kind of decided to expand out to Manchester. It started off as a co-working space, kind of sharing desks and things like that, because we had like what, 2-3 staff. Now we're at how many staff?
18.
18?
18.
We're at 18 staff already, and we've only been going for a couple of months, something like that. Interestingly, Manchester is growing much faster than London.
Why do you think that is?
I think we have bigger brand awareness in Manchester. A lot of clients that we work with are in Manchester, from the Hook Group, the fashion spaces and things like that. But also, I think a lot of people, creatives and agency people, moved out of London. That's what we've noticed. A lot of people have moved, like Nick, he lived in London and moved to Manchester. So yeah, I feel like Manchester is actually quite a good city for what we're trying to do, our client base and our growth strategy really, so yeah.
How long you've been working in digital now?
10 years.
10 years. Obviously you've been client side, agency side. Have you ever done the startup to scale up process before?
To a degree, but I was very much a passenger at Branded 3, right? We went from 33 people to, when I left Edit, it was 250, so been through that journey, but you know, certainly early days of Branded 3, I wouldn't say startup. It was already established, so this is new, yeah.
How are you finding it?
Hard. Really hard.
Yeah.
In hockey, right, you want to be moving to where the puck is going and not where the puck is right now, and it's very hard to do that when you've added 85 people in a year.
Yeah.
So we've kind of put processes and software and all that kind of stuff in place for where we are kind of now, almost. We've got a bit of a way to go, and then it's like what's coming down the pipe, and it's hard.
What are you focusing on now from that startup to scale up? What's changing for you?
I think what we deliver for clients now is a little bit different, because when we started 2.5 years ago, we were so different to anyone else out there, and actually a lot of the industry is doing similar things to us, and it's because this is the way the industry was going, right? We didn't invent digital PR, we saw an opportunity and capitalized on it. So really what we're doing now is, well, what do we think is next for that? And you never want to be too far ahead. You never want to be trying to, you know, take clients on a journey that isn't going to solve their problem today, and that's the key thing. You want to be creating value now from day one, because that's how you stick around in the client's organization, as well as thinking about what we're going to do in the next year, in the next 5 years, you know.
We're going from startup to scale up. What does that mean to you for an agency?
It means growing up a little bit, I guess. It's hard to define what phase we're at. It doesn't happen overnight, so like it's difficult to know.
Have you ever been part of an agency which has done this?
No, not at all. Most agencies have been out have already been established for like 10 years or so, 15 years, and it's just completely different. So joining an agency that was like 6 months old when I joined it to now is like, yeah, the growth phase was ridiculous, wasn't it, James? You remember?
It was.
You were there.
We were there.
You were there.
In the office, just us two, but you know.
Just propping the company up.
Yeah, that's what we do. Right?
Oh, Phoebe's here. Oh, you're desperate to be on the source, isn't she?
Oh my God.
It's a really bad time for me, it's the end of the day.
Might remember her from an episode of The Source where she was sat in the living room floor.
God, please get more people on the source that isn't Luke.
Social media exec, brand new to the company.
What did Nathan call me?
Call me? Ops manager.
Whoa.
Is that wrong?
In fact, I'm not. I've been promoted to facilities manager now.
We actually haven't seen Nathan on the source for a while, actually, have we?
No, we haven't.
Such as Nick's power in operations. Nathan has just disappeared.
Yeah, we've not seen him for a while.
That was my power.
So Nick,
Yes.
we've been talking about startup to scale up this week.
Yes.
You've done this before, right?
I have.
What is the difference from a startup to a scale up?
How long have you got? I think people make the misconception sometimes that scaling up just means getting more people in and more business, but actually it's structural. So you have to educate, train people to get ready for the scale up, whereas a startup, it's literally you get people through the door, clients through the door, and you sort of make it happen. And this is a time when scaling up, you have to get a mindset into the company. Usually you hope you lose the culture doing it as well.
That's the hard bit, right?
That's the hard bit, yeah. So you've got to try and hold on to that magic. Try and get people to think bigger without scaring them. and be really clear about roles, responsibilities and accountability. It's really important now that people know where they stand, where they're going, not just for the business but for themselves and their careers as well. So you have to bring everybody along with the scale up.
So now, Beth, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Beth. I'm a junior project manager.
Yeah, that was so efficient. That was like you're on a dating show.
Oh God. Hi, I'm Beth. I'm a junior project manager.
What's the culture been like for you? Because we're going from, what number employee were you?
So, right, okay, so actually this is interesting because everyone was really shady about what number I was. And when I joined, people were like, oh yeah, no, I was number 98 or number 97. And I was like, okay, no one will tell me what number I am. I feel like I was number 100.
You were. Do you know what? I actually know you
really?
were.
Was I?
You
Was I
were.
actually?
100. Did we celebrate it?
So we were going to celebrate it. We were going to have a big
And then we met Beth, wasn't it? And then we decided
Yeah, it's like not worth it, call it off.
She walked through the door, we quickly put the balloons away.
I've got a question. What's the one thing we need to focus on in the next year to scale up?
The one thing.
One thing.
Oh God, there's so
I know,
many
so-
things. All right,
Most important.
not because I'm the oldest person at Rise, but because I know this to be true. We need some more experience in some key positions.
I agree.
And I think once that's there, I think people can relax a bit into the scale up. I really do. I think we've got to educate from the top down.
So obviously there's a big education piece here. How do you think that's going to go? And where do we even start?
Well, we're doing it on a day-to-day basis. I mean, the thing about Rise is that we're not wedded into any particular way of working. We evolve each time we change, the process changes. Each time we get more people in the business, we have to expand it slightly, and process should only ever be oil or glue. It shouldn't be written in paper, and that's how we do it. I mean, the key for a scale up for me, what I know is that people become the process without even knowing it, and it becomes seamless.
So Carrie is a CEO at 29 years old.
28.
28 years old. That's my P45 in the post. Carrie's a 28-year-old CEO. She's never done this before, and we've just gone from a startup business to a scale-up agency. So what does that mean?
What does going from startup to scale up
Yeah.
mean? I guess it means what worked before doesn't mean it's going to work now. That's one thing I definitely learned. There's a lot that I brought in the early days that worked then, and clearly it worked because we've achieved what we've done in 2 years. 7 mil revenue, 108 staff, whatever it is. That's really good in 2 years. But what worked then doesn't mean it's going to work now. And now what we need to do is be able to kind of roll out processes, hire the people for skills gaps, and create ways of working that means we can scale it. Because I think in the early days, a lot of the things that we brought in weren't scalable. It was built for 5 to 10, 15 people, but now I need to build this for 300-400 people. Not with the aim to have 300-400 people, but with the aim that it can be. It needs to have longevity and scale up kind of growth, if that makes sense.
And efficiencies.
Exactly it. So the idea is that we need to focus more on, culture, we need to focus on growth tactics, what's our ultimate strategy. The market's starting to kind of see what we do from a USP point of view, and people are starting to kind of copy and things like that. So what is next for Rise at 7? So I guess this scale up, it includes everything from kind of innovation, but also down to processes, and it's mostly actually due to processes. We've got a C-suite now. I didn't have that 6 months ago. We have heads of and a leadership team. I didn't have that 6 months ago. So that's what I mean by creating the processes, getting the right people in the right seats, basically.
But it's not normal, right? We're 2.5 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
but
everyone else would be a startup still at that point.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we actually hired, we interviewed yesterday a director to come and join us, and he kind of said, I weren't in the meeting room, but he said to some of the C-suite, is it legit? Like, are they making money? Like, are they doing okay? And I was like, yeah, it's actually legit. And he said, like, hats off to you guys for doing this in 2 years, but do you know what's coming up? Do you know what you've got to do to scale? And I said, yeah. I was like, I'm gonna put my hands up of exactly the sort of things that I did right, did wrong. I know what I need to learn from, but also I know what we need to do next.